Guys, this is Josh Blackhair, and today we're going to talk about is business and stress. So I think people really over kind of stress themselves when they're getting started in business, or even while they're in business. And I think it's important to take some time for yourself. People rarely, really make time for themselves to kind of have, self love, or, because they're so focused on their business, or, creating something, that they don't really take time for themselves. And I think taking time for yourself is really the roots, the core support for any business. You can't create something without having self love, without really loving yourself, without really taking care of yourself. And it's important that you're always growing, and taking things to the next level, and having all of this. But without the self love, it's really hard to kind of um, do these things because your foundations aren't there. So um, there was once a time where I was getting super stressed. Like, you know everything was happening. Things were going on. I had to work on calling people, doing this, doing that, and I just felt I had enough stress. So what I did was, I said, you know what, no more phones, no more computers. um, I'm just not going to touch that. And I pretty much got my assistants and things like that, to and partners and all that, just to pretty much, I'll just meet them in person, talk to them, but I wouldn't touch or look at any computers for like a week or something like that. Um, and what that did for me was amazing. I was able to come back stronger than ever, and really take things to the next level. And I think, like, maybe you don't have to do that for a week, but I think if you had a there's this app where pretty much you can check every single time you look at your phone. If you put this app on your phone, I'm sure you'd be looking at your phone over 100 times, which is crazy to think about. 100 times in a day, not 24, 100. That is really just like overbearingly stressful. If you're looking at something that many times, there's got to be some stress. So, what I'm really trying to say is, you've got to start taking care of yourself. Business is business. Yes, you're going to be successful. Yes, there's going to be hard times. Yes, there's going to be good times. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's scary. Yes, there's anxiety. But without having a real time for yourself, you're never going to kind of crush it, because you haven't taken care of yourself. I kind of think about it as a plant. If you don't take care of your plant, it's never going to grow into a tree. You want to make sure that you're constantly watering your plant. You're constantly taking care of your plant. And the plant is you. You're taking care of your customers, great. You're taking care of other people, great. But you've got to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you're never going to be able to really take care of other people. There's a saying which says, you can't help someone till you've helped yourself. That means that literally you have to pretty much provide the value to yourself as well. There's this other thing that I like to do. I like to pretty much spend on myself. So, I'll walk through the mall. Probably if you're a business person, you're never even going to the mall. You're stuck in your business. But I'll go to the mall, and if I see something that I like, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. I don't know when, but I'm gonna get this. And after a while, I always get it. And you have no idea how good I feel when I get that. Not only does that help me in business, but it helps me in life, because there's a certain thing that's happening when you really want something but you don't have it. That is, it's kind of, you're in flux. You're not in the moment anymore. You're not, you don't have your core in what you're doing, because you're always like, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I was somewhere else. But when you have all of that, when you've done everything you've wanted, it's hard to do that. You're just kind of focused on what you're doing, and when you have that, you're able to grow, because growth is always about a sustained attention on something, where this is what Tony Robbins says, where energy flows, something like that. Something about energy and attention and things like that. Basically, you got to put your attention on something so that it can grow. But the main thing on this is that if you can't get to the next level, start seeing if you can get yourself to the next level. Have you really been practicing, taking care of yourself, that you can do something which you thought you can never do? Have you thought of, ways that you can take care of yourself, only you can do? And that's what's great. Like, everyone's waiting for presents from other people, but how many people actually get presents for themselves? Because, YOLO, you only live once. So what's your excuse that you're not taking care of yourself? Like, literally, there is no reason why you should get out of taking care of yourself and loving yourself and, creating space for yourself and, just kind of letting yourself grow, like you've got to do that. Business is fun and all, but if you this is what I really like to understand. People love, all this stuff, whatever it takes, ground zero, doesn't matter, things like that. But what people don't understand is, what about love? People underestimate love for themselves, because you can't really love anyone else until you really love yourself. So it's important to really have a full love for yourself. And that means time for yourself. That means presence for yourself. That means, what I really like is pretty much, I forgot the word for this, but pretty much telling yourself good things, like you're the best, you're awesome. Many people don't like this because it's like, oh no, now you're creating an ego. But, if you tell yourself these things instead of telling yourself bad things, I think the good things are better. And many people are saying bad things about themselves, like, shit, I did that again. Oh man, what the fuck? I did that. Oh shit, this. But there's so many things you can't control. But the one thing you can control is your love for yourself. And I've seen that people who love themselves better usually accomplish more. I've never really seen a successful person who really hates themselves. Because, nothing can grow. Nothing really wants to be close to that kind of energy. So, even successful people, when I've seen people who have gone into a level of success, but they've never really gone to the next level. And I think, the next level isn't money, it's happiness. Before I was in business, I was super happy just being happy with myself. And that's pretty much led to my foundations of being successful. It's because I've always had this inner happiness. No matter what came at me, no matter how bad it got, I always loved myself. I always really, really cared about myself. But people just forget about that kind of stuff, and they just really want to focus on getting to the prize and, nothing else in the way. So that's pretty much why I think that if you don't have a really love for yourself, if you don't really have that full self, just love, it's going to be hard to take yourself to the next level. That means if you have the patience for business, but you don't have patience for yourself, you're doing it wrong. So this is what my kind of hope for you is, that you can start really taking yourself to the next level with loving yourself, with feeling inside yourself. Take a second, breathe. What happens when you breathe? You feel the air coming into you, and then you start feeling your whole body accepting that. And take a second for that and really think, do you have any problems at this moment? You probably don't. You have no problems in this moment, right? Because in this moment, there can't be a problem. And when you feel in your body, you can definitely... Sometimes, not everyone can feel in their body, but if you can, you'll feel this like stillness. And that's that self-love. When you're able to really feel inside yourself and really get inside, maybe like, some darkness and things like that, but if you really get inside and just let everything be, and then breathe out, you'll be able to sense a different kind of nature that you never thought you had. And it's beautiful. It's really incredible when you get to this point where you're just so in love with yourself. Not narcissism, but just self-love. Because when you have this kind of love, you're able to give more love to someone else. A lot of people are so, focused on other people's opinion that they forget about their own. But your opinion is the most important. If you knew how important your opinion was, you wouldn't do half the things you're doing, and half the things you're doing would be 10 times more successful. So really get into the point where you start seeing yourself as an ally instead of an enemy. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you on the next one.